if your army's greatest weakness was actually your deadliest weapon? What if the very thing that should destroy you was the key to your greatest victory? Daniel Morgan knew his militia would run. Every general knew it. Everyone expected it. So Morgan made them run on purpose. He built his entire battle plan around it. And when the British came charging forward laughing, convinced they had already won, the trap snapped shut forever. The year is 1781. The American Revolution is hanging by a thread. 6 years of war have left the American army exhausted, underfunded, and desperate. Britain controls the entire South. Town after town has fallen. Lord Cornwallis is pushing north with confidence, crushing every American force that stands in his path. He is methodical, he is powerful, and he is absolutely certain this rebellion is nearly finished. To deliver the final blow, Cornwallis sends his most feared and ruthless commander, Banastre Tarleton, a man so aggressive, so merciless in battle that his own enemies gave him a nickname, Bloody Ban. Tarleton had never lost a single battle. He moved faster than any British commander, struck harder than anyone expected, and showed little mercy to those who surrendered. He was exactly the kind of soldier that ends wars. Standing directly against him was Brigadier General Daniel Morgan, outnumbered, under-equipped, leading a force that included large numbers of untrained militia, men who were farmers, hunters, and frontiersmen, not professional soldiers. Men who had a well-known reputation for breaking and running the moment a battle turned against them. Most generals would consider this a catastrophe waiting to happen. Morgan considered it his greatest advantage. Morgan chose his battlefield with extreme care. Cowpens, a wide-open grazing field in the South Carolina backcountry, flat ground with gentle rolling hills, and most critically, a wide river running directly behind his own troops. No trees to escape into, no roads to retreat down. His men were completely committed. They would fight or they would drown. Morgan removed the option of running before the battle even began. But the true masterpiece was his three-line formation. The first line was his sharpshooters, skilled frontier riflemen in buckskin and leather. Their orders were simple and precise. Pick off British officers first, then fall back in an organized manner. Not panic, not chaos. A controlled, deliberate withdrawal, designed to look like the beginning of an American collapse. Morgan needed the British to feel they were already winning. The second line was his militia. Morgan rode among them the night before battle, speaking to each man personally. He gave them the most unusual order in the history of the entire war. Fire 2 volleys, then run. Just 2 shots, then retreat. He even showed them exactly which route to take, so their retreat looked real, looked panicked, looked exactly like what Tarleton was expecting to see. Because Morgan understood Tarleton's fatal weakness, his absolute arrogance and aggression. When Tarleton saw Americans turning and running, he would do exactly what Morgan predicted. He would break his own formation. He would order a wild, disorganized charge, his men screaming forward out of disciplined order, drunk on the sight of a fleeing enemy. And they would run directly into Morgan's third and final line, the Continental Army regulars, trained professional soldiers, standing perfectly still, bayonets fixed, waiting in absolute silence. January 17th, 1781. Dawn breaks over Cowpens. Tarleton arrives and sees exactly what Morgan planned. The sharpshooters fire and fall back. The militia fires 2 volleys and runs. Tarleton smiles and orders the full charge. His entire force surges forward screaming, completely broken from formation. They crash violently into the Continental regulars. The anvil holds firm. Then, at that exact moment, Morgan springs the second half of his trap. The militia stops running, turns around, and unleashes a devastating volley into the completely exposed British flank. Washington's cavalry sweeps around the other side. The British are surrounded on 3 sides, with no escape. In less than 1 hour, Tarleton loses over 80% of his entire force. He barely escapes with his own life. Cornwallis receives the news and is devastated. He lost his most powerful striking force overnight. He begins making desperate, reckless decisions, chasing Morgan across the Carolinas, stretching his supply lines beyond breaking point, exhausting his army completely. Those fatal mistakes lead him directly to Yorktown, and Yorktown ends the war. 1 battle, 1 hour, 1 general who understood that true genius is not about having the best army. It is about using what you have in ways your enemy never imagined possible. The next video is already waiting for you.